We're gonna have a good time. Really a good time. Having some good times. Good times. A really, really good time. Really good time. We're having a good time. Good time. Talking about good times. Really good times. We're having some good times. Good times.
Aaron reached out to me about a year ago and was like, hey, I don't know if you've heard of the book Better Homes, but we're workshopping a script for it. Would you like to do a stage reading? And I'd heard about the book. I hadn't actually read it at that point, but I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. People are really buzzing about the book. Sure, why not? And then as I was reading the script and looking things over, I realized that this was pretty much the story of my family, or at least a lot of people that I grew up with.
Better Homes of South Bend, An American Story of Courage, came out a few years ago. We at the theater had read it back in 2018, 2019, right in that area. And we're like, this is an amazing story. But it was, a well-researched, well-written book, but it certainly wasn't a play. I had gone to a workshop on producing your city's stories. And it was about kind of finding those local stories and nurturing them and turning them into, full-length plays. So I talked to the moderator and went up to her and like, hey, we have this really cool story. I really want to make sure we have the right person telling it.
A friend of a friend said South Bend Civic Theater is looking to commission a play. Would you take a look at it? So she sent me Better Homes of South Bend. And I said, well, I really don't have time to read it today. I said, well, I'll read the first page. 3 hours later, I had read the whole book because it was awesome. And I said, boy, this person really did their research. And I said to myself, this black scholar really knew how to research a community. I turned the book over, and of course, Gabrielle Robinson is German.
I wrote this really because of Leroy Cobb. Leroy Cobb was in his mid-80s when he approached me, and he said, we need to get this story out. I'm afraid when I pass, the story will disappear with me.
Gabrielle, after she had talked to Leroy, she said she's going to write a book about our street, about Elmer Street. And I'm thinking, really? What's that book going to be like?
It's basically about workers at Studebaker who came in the late 40s, early 50s for a better life. They were migrants from the South. They couldn't go to hotels and restaurants, movie theaters, but what really bothered them was the living. They were completely segregated. The ones for whites were nice neighborhoods, were better built. The ones for blacks, like where the Better Homes folks, most of them lived, were near the slums, near the factories, the railroad tracks, nowhere that you wanted to raise children. So that became their drive. How can we move into a safer and more desirable neighborhood?
Gabrielle arranged for some of the original Better Homes families to meet with me, and again, the community was so interesting and warm and funny. I said, I got to be a part of this.
Well, to turn it into a book was like amazing, and here comes talk about they're going to make it a play. I said, oh, really? You got it. You're kidding. How can you do that?
We're setting out to change all that. We are going to unite to form a corporation.
I want to see this through. What about you, darling?
Fast forward 2 years, we had a reading of the first draft. We did a lot of changes between that and then the final draft that we saw.
I think we had a lot of actors who came in and had their own connections to this story.
My parents lived the story, and my grandparents, and that was one of the reasons why I accepted the role. It's because I remember my grandfather working at Studebaker.
We were visited by J. Chester Allen's son and his daughter-in-law. He was able to tell us insights about his father that you couldn't read off of a page. Just his mannerisms, his thoughts, things that he did and things that he didn't do.
What that did for me as an actor to play his dad, feel a particular obligation to be as true to this character and the circumstances of this entire production, this play, as possible. They will run and tell white folks everything just to undermine us.
getting to actually see the living, breathing people who went through this was like, oh my God, you helped literally build a foundation for a home that I was able to live in or thrive on or benefit from directly.
I went to rehearsals and I peeked in all the time I could. I got asked a few questions every now and then about, is this right or that right, or what should we add and whatever. So I just really felt a part of it.
A lot of times it's hard to connect into a play because you never lived in that time or you've never been in that experience. You're telling a story.
Nobody knows city government like my husband.
But here we were telling a story about real people whose families are still alive.
Good.
We knew they existed. We knew we were going to get to meet them, but having family members of the characters that we were talking about was incredibly special, and it became very clear to me the gift that we were giving the community.
You know, you have to be a little conservative with a local story no one's really heard of. You know, is this going to be something people are interested in? As we moved forward, we started to realize, oh, there's a groundswell of interest here. This momentum is really growing.
I had cast members who were all trying to get their tickets. They're telling their friends and family to go get your tickets. Friends and family are going to get tickets. They can't even get tickets for our cast members.
And so we sold out the original run like 6 weeks before it opened, and we're like, oh, goodness gracious, there's so many people who aren't going to be able to see this that want to see it.
Aaron decided that the play had to be moved from the small theater that holds about 80-some seats to the Wilson stage, which holds over 200 seats.
When they had said, hey, we're not going to be in this theater anymore, we're taking it upstairs, I think that gave a lot of people kind of that morale boost, even though it made our work exponentially harder because we were moving to a stage that's 3 times what we were working with.
We had the opportunity to tour this show over to the South Bend History Museum.
My background is an educator. I'm a teacher. I'm an 8th grade math teacher. I was able to take my scholars to go see their teacher in another format, which is huge. I was bringing them into a world that they didn't even know Miss Brown had.
Right away, we went to work thinking, how can we get this story out to as many South Bend area students as possible? We were able to allow about 700 students see the play and then also go through the workers' home, so they got to hear the story of the Great Migration and then how local people were involved in the civil rights movement.
To take these kids to this performance to see something about their history and their city, again, hopefully to feel that sense of pride of who they were, who they are, and where they come from.
We moved to South Bend, Indiana to find better job and better opportunities for our children.
To work with a professional cast and the cast that we had, it was a great experience as far as learning from each other.
We did a lot, and I think our community just appreciated everything that we did to get the play rolling on its feet.
This cast and crew absolutely rose beautifully to every challenge that came our way. And some of the most beautiful challenges within the process were just making room for a better home.
Something like this, you know, we wanted to get the family dynamics right. We wanted to make sure that we were honoring the legacy, the true South Bend legacy here. And I think that's what created that really beautiful camaraderie amongst the cast.
My name's Larissa LaShure.
I'm Angela Blake.
I'm Alessandra Howe.
I'm Dee Smith.
I'm Jasmine Brown.
I'm Sam Karachu.
I'm Marcus Lipsy.
And I hope you enjoy the show.
I hope you enjoy it.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Hope you guys enjoy the show.
And I hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go to my Lord and be free.
Hush, Russell, Russell, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, hush, Russell, Russell, hush, Russell, Russell, hush.
Nice sounds prod my bones.
Russell, Russell,
Feeling big and feeling small, so far away from home.
Stomachs grumble, feet stumble, take a tumble, scared and humble.
Nightmares in my head. I just want my bed.
What was that?
Imagining dangers, trusting help from strangers.
Dusty feet and dusty shoes, marching to migration blues.
Young, old, black and many hues, singing the migration.
Farmers and
Families with nothing to lose, making hymns out of migration blues.
Imagine the late 1940s on a country road maybe 20 miles from where you're sitting right now. The fear and promise of a new life, the sounds of a family that has walked too far and too long in the dark. My legs are falling off.
You're such a baby.
Junior, Maddie, hush.
Yeah.
What'd I tell you about making noise? We don't know who's out here. I gotta sit down. I have to sit down. And yes, you may. Rest, rub your feet, and we'll move on.
How much farther?
We got a couple of miles till we get to South Bend. Mr. Hiram Miller said he'd meet us as we get closer to town.
Wish you could meet us now and take some of this stuff.
Wishing won't get the job done, Junior.
I miss my bed.
I miss my friends.
There will be plenty of families with children on Prairie Avenue.
I miss the farm. I miss Flower, Mabel, Buddy.
Don't name the animals for heaven's sake.
Why do we have to come up here?
We've already been through this, Maddie. Life for colored in Indiana is better than in Tennessee.
We won't have to work the fields. You'll get a better education. Your daddy will have a better job.
Will the white folks treat us better?
Well, let's go, family. Miss Libby Miller will have hot food and warm blankets waiting for us.
Things will get better, children. You'll see.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom line.
Back in Tennessee, Junior and I went to a one-room schoolhouse in the morning, then worked the field alongside Mom and Daddy till sunset. The farm wasn't ours, and we didn't have much, but there were open skies, animals, and fish fries on holidays. Sometimes we sneak away to play. I had so many friends.
Mama and Daddy said we left our home for a better life. But when you arrived on Prairie Avenue, we weren't so sure we'd get one.
And we were even more disappointed to see our new home.
I'm sorry about the state of the place. The other family just left, and I didn't.
Oh, we're grateful for everything you've done, Libby.
What stinks?
Junior.
I'm sorry, son. The sewer drain backs up. I'm afraid you'll get used to it long before they fix it. I'll let you get settled in. Tomorrow I'll come by and show you the color market and the color school, and Hiram will come by after he gets off and tell you more about the Studebaker plant. He'll show you how to keep from getting hurt.
Getting hurt?
Grown folks are talking. You two find the pump and fetch some water.
This isn't what I dreamed it would be.
Serves you right for dreaming.
I want to go home.
This is home now.
What do you think the college
I
school-
don't know, Maddie.
I don't want Daddy to get hurt.
Stop being a baby. Doggone, this place stinks.
I'm scared, Junior.
Hush up and pump. All the colored workers lived in Studebaker's shadow. Right there on Prairie Avenue, Mr. Hiram Miller was Daddy's buddy in the Army. He had written to him about jobs at the plant. He was the reason we were here. I didn't know whether to thank him or to blame him.
Excuse me for not shaking hands. Libby said you all could use some cheering up, so I came straight from the plant.
You look like you could use a cool glass of water.
Ooh, that sounds like a little piece of heaven. Who do we have here?
Maddie Smith, pleased to meet you, Mr. Hiram, sir.
And who's big man?
James Smith, Jr. Everyone calls me Junior.
Sir?
Sir.
Thank you. You have a fine family. You'll be glad you made the decision to move. Welcome to South Bend. We've got Singer, Oliver Manufacturing, and Bendix. But Studebaker is the only plant that hires colors. You'll earn more here than you ever earned farming. But to be honest, it won't be easy. The work is, we get all the most dangerous jobs, and there's not much promise of advancement. But the color folk here are smart and stick together. We making progress little by little.
Mr. Miller, what do you mean by dangerous jobs?
It's only dangerous if you're not careful. The work is dirty. The hot metals is poured into the molds up the line. James, you got to pick up that red hot metal with the long hook and fling it into the hopper. The factory pours 400 tons of metal each day. But it pays $72 a week.
Well, I ain't afraid of a little hard work, and I'll be careful.
All right. He's gonna be just fine, Miss Eleanor.
We worried about Daddy when he came home with bruises and burns.
Daddy worried about Mama when she coughed and hauled huge laundry baskets. Both Daddy and Mama worried about us all the time.
But after a while, we met some children and learned the difference between city games and country games.
And Miss Libby was right. We got used to the stink.
We started going to the colored school and learned how to learn.
Learn to heed the golden rule. Attending our Linden School.
Here our hearts and minds were fed, knowledge and skills to get ahead. Wooden desks all in line, arithmetic and story time.
Little girls and little boys, curious and full of noise.
Seated learning side by side, eyes and minds were open wide.
I never had arithmetic in Tennessee, but I learned fast.
I loved reading aloud and drawing pictures. I even talked to my first white girl.
This is my bedroom with my doll babies and my bed and my dog and my sister and my window that I look out on rainy days.
Okay. This is my mama and my daddy and my brother Junior, who makes me so mad when he pulls my hair and sneaks chicken off my plate. But then he holds my hand when we cross the street and he lets me sleep at the bottom of his bed when there's lightning at night.
How come you're made out of chocolate?
I ain't candy. I'm colored.
My brother says colored folks smell bad, but you don't.
My brother says white folks are wicked.
I'm not wicked. I'm Mary Beth.
I'm Maddie.
Both our names begin with an M. Want to color some more?
I make new friends in school. Mama and Daddy make new friends in the neighborhood and at work. The only person who struggles to make new friends is Junior. Daddy's first aid kit from the war often comes in handy. You better hope it stops bleeding before Mama comes home. Why do you have to fight all the time?
Kids think they're better than me, making fun of the way I talk.
Daddy says colors have to stick together.
I hate it here.
At least the white folks are better.
Who says? Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get a wild cherry, please?
Yes, sir. How may I help you?
Take a root beer.
That'll be 5 cents, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get a wild cherry, please?
Quite the warm weather we're having, huh?
Sure is. Hope we'll catch a breeze this evening.
Oh, me too.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get a wild cherry, please?
This one giving you trouble?
No, sir. I'll be fine.
Thanks. Stay cool, you hear?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get a wild cherry, please?
Don't you have the sense to know when you're not wanted? Pay first. 10 cents.
That man paid.
Put it on the counter.
Mad as I'd get at Junior, I knew he had a point. Although white folks in South Bend aren't as violent with colored folks, they keep you away from anything nice, they're mean, and they call you names. We can't shop in their supermarkets, we can't swim in their pools, and they put colored folks up so high in the Colfax movie house, you can't hardly see the screen. At least nobody's been lynched.
Nobody would know about you, mean. The white folks here have the same mean look in their eyes.
Well, look in the eyes of the nice ones. Mr. Rosenbaum and Mr. Fisher sell the coloreds, and way more coloreds have their own stores here. Miss Wolf's Grocery Shop, Perry's Drugs, Newbill's Barber Shop.
But this place, Maggie's Court, and Horse's Alley, they're all run down neighborhoods that stink of the sewer.
Thank heaven for Sundays when we could forget about the struggles of the week, whether it was Olivet AME, First AME Zion, St. John's, or St. Augustine's. There was a joy in the singing, a comfort in the hugs, and a message of hope for us colored folks.
Sunday sunrise. I feel blessed. Heart and spirit need a rest.
Days and hours of working well transform into our Sunday prayers.
Feel so tired and need a lift. Sunday church is my soul's gift.
Sounds of laughter and sounds of joy, from frail old men to fresh young boys. Skins in light and dusky hues, smiles to chase the workday blues.
Hugs, embraces, family meetings fill our church with soulful greetings.
The slight, the pain of discrimination.
The denials and restrictions of segregation.
Inequality that breeds frustration.
And tarnishes the promise of this great nation.
Each Sunday,
we set pain aside, replace it with love, devotion, and pride.
On Sundays, we rejuvenate
and heal the wounds of fear and hate, to worship and communicate,
to pray and tell the timeless story
of God and all his power and glory.
Whatever challenges we face,
we are strengthened in this holy place.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas.
I love Sundays. For more than songs, church suppers, and wearing my best dress, church is also a place to meet the most important colored people in South Bend.
We got good, strong colored folks in Tennessee who try to do right and bring us together.
But I've never seen colored folks like this before. They dress with such care, they talk with such grace, they walk with such dignity. I fall under the spell of 3 people named Allen. Mr. J. Chester Allen is the first colored lawyer I've ever seen. He's read all those big, heavy law books. He carries a briefcase, but he speaks softly, speaks to everybody, whether they're in shiny Florsheim shoes or muddy work boots, whether they live in defense houses or on Birdsell Street. I look forward to Mr. J. Chester Allen reading us passages in church and reminding us colored folks that we have rights by law and we shouldn't give up fighting for them. I confess, I have a little crush on Mr. J. Chester Allen. No, I don't want to marry him. Don't be silly. I was only 13, and he's already married to my idol, Mrs. Elizabeth Fletcher Allen, a woman lawyer, the first person I've met who was a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Whew, I just love to see her in her beautiful suits, silk hats, and high heels. She, too, has read all those big, heavy law books. She carries a briefcase along with her purse, and she always has a kindly word to say. And when she bends down to shake my hand, I love her perfume. There's a third Allen I love, too. Her name is...
Maddie Smith, come in here and get your hair brushed.
Excuse me a minute. How come we're wearing Sunday shoes on a Saturday?
Say why, Maddie, not how come.
Why, Mama? Ow.
Hold still. Miss Laretha will be here any minute.
Who's Miss Laretha?
She's kind enough to introduce you and Junior to the children at Herring House.
But Henry and me are going to play ball in the alley.
Henry and I are going to play ball, and no, you are not. Good grammar and good manners are exactly the reasons why you're going to Herring House with Miss Laretha.
Who's Miss Laretha?
I already know my manners.
Not farm manners, Junior, city manners.
Who's Miss Laretha?
Our lives are going to change, and we must all be ready.
Who's Miss Laretha?
Miss Laretha Allen is one of the most respected colored ladies in South Bend, Indiana, and she's our friend.
Is she family to Mr. J. Chester and Mrs. Elizabeth Allen?
Not family by blood, but in her own way, Miss Laretha is family to all the black folks in South Bend. All right, come here, Junior. Miss Laretha is working hard to lift up the race, trying to prepare you young folks for a better future. Let me look at you. All right, now, you mind, Miss Laretha, and play nicely. Junior, stop pooching out your lip.
Now listen, children. I want you to make Maddie and Junior feel welcome. No teasing, no sticking out tongues, and no pulling pigtails. You may have fun, but remember, you are young ladies and gentlemen. Now, make Miss Laretha proud of you. And if you behave, there's ice cream and story time.
Herring House is where we had fun. We learned grown-up dancing, how to eat without putting our elbows on the table. We even had Halloween parties.
And the ice cream was the best. Even Junior made friends. It was good to feel like we belonged to a community. It was good to have important people like Mrs. Laretha visit Mama and Daddy one night. Although I knew I should be asleep, I sneaked real close to hear the grown-up talk.
We sure do appreciate you stopping by, Miss Laretha.
Oh, please, just call me Laretha. I've been meaning to speak with you two for the longest time.
Oh, can I get you some lemonade?
Oh, thank you kindly, but I can't stay. I just want to tell you about an exciting project a group of us colored folks are doing in South Bend. You met J. Chester Allen.
We've heard him speak in church. He is so inspiring.
Yeah, nothing better than smart, professional colored folks help lifting up the race.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. As you know, the housing conditions for us in South Bend are just awful.
Yeah, downright disgrace.
A group of us are getting together to change that.
Hallelujah.
I'm going house to house to people I can trust. You cannot tell a soul. We especially don't want word to get to the white folks.
We're colored from Tennessee, Laretha.
We know how to keep a secret.
Well then, come to a meeting at my house this coming Sunday night. Arrive at 7:45. The meeting's at 8, but we don't want everyone to arrive at once to draw attention.
You bring anything?
Your heart, your minds, and your dreams.
Sounds wonderful. We'll be there.
And no children. This is serious business.
Well, Junior's old enough to stay here and look after his sister.
All right, then. We'll see you then. And this stays between us?
Not a single word to anyone.
My body was shaking. I had to catch my breath. A secret meeting, what was it about? Who would be there? Why aren't kids allowed? I couldn't have asked Mama because I wasn't supposed to have heard. But many years later, after struggles and tears and laughter and losses, despair and jubilation, many years after we moved, Mama and Daddy told us what went on in that meeting. And to this day, I imagined myself in that room. There was a reverence, a respectable hum. Many were puzzled, many were mum. They sensed that this gathering could not wait. They sensed that this meeting would change their fate.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming after a long, hard day's work. Please, make yourself comfortable. I've spoken to you individually. Now we get a chance to get together and talk about our project. I'm calling it Better Homes because I believe that's what we all want. For ourselves, for our children, for our neighbors. This meeting is the first step towards that goal. I'll turn the meeting over to our friend, and I'll keep notes on what we discussed.
Thanks to everyone for coming. Thanks to Laretha for hosting us. For those of you I have not met, I am J. Chester Allen. Should you decide to join this endeavor, I will serve as your attorney. I am not telling you anything you don't know if I say that the colored people of South Bend are at a disadvantage when it comes to housing.
Oh, yes. We know.
Most of us work for the Studebaker Company, but we live in substandard housing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Most of us know that there are covenants in place in South Bend that prevents white homeowners from selling to colored buyers. Most of us do not have the money to purchase a nice house. Even if we did, most of us would be turned down for a bank loan because of redlining and because we're colored. Tonight, we're setting out to change all that. We are going to unite to form a corporation. That corporation has one goal: to purchase property on North Elmer Street and build a community of homes for colored folks and their families.
You can't
That's impossible.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Several of us have thought and talked about this for a long time. There's a plan. But before I share it, there are things that we must pledge to each other right now. Pledge number one, keep the secret. People will work against us. Some white folks will be frightened. Others will be angry. I speak plainly. Even some of our colored brothers and sisters will resent us. They will run and tell white folks everything just to undermine us. But we believe that everyone in this room will honor each other and keep the secret. Pledge number two, work hard. I speak plainly. This will be difficult. You will be asked to take on a second, even a third job. Pledge number three, be patient. Make no mistake, this is a serious endeavor. Our corporation...
Why is it a corporation?
We're a corporation because we're stronger together. As a group, we'll have more money to show when we apply for a loan. We can put more pressure on the banks. Pledge number four, work together. We will use the collective intelligence of everyone in this room to negotiate with contractors, to adhere to laws and regulations. We shall elect a board of directors. We shall have minutes of every meeting. We shall have a treasury. And each member of this corporation shall make payments into it as required starting tonight. So now's a good time to get your individual finances in order. Pledge number 5, get your finances in order. Miss Laretha?
Jay Chester spoke plainly. Now it's my turn. Nobody here is better than anybody else. Some may have a little more than others, but it still adds up to the same total. Not much. Light-skinned or dark-skinned, Baptist or Methodist, been to school, dropped out of school, we are in this together. As a show of faith, tonight's dues are $1 in the treasury. We'll start saving to rent a meeting room at the Herring House, file court documents, pay the contractors, and throw a great big move-in barbecue. Who's going to be the first to put on our treasure?
Laretha waited, Jay Chester waited. They knew this was a big step.
I speak for my wife, Eleanor, and me. And we came to South Bend in search of a better life for our children. Now, I do believe this is a big step, but it's the right step to take. Here's my dollar.
The minutes of that meeting say a nonprofit organization was formed and given the name Better Homes of South Bend, Indiana. After the collection of money, they ended the meeting with prayer.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
That meeting certainly troubles the waters in my house. Junior falls asleep and snores, but I lie awake listening to the grown-up talk. I know it has something to do about those secret Sunday meetings.
I could take in more washing.
Oh, no, sweetheart. Now, you straining with the weight of what you got right now.
The factory wears you down. You don't have the energy for another job. I don't want to lose you.
You're not going to lose me, Ellie. But I got to get a second job or we'll never have enough to make the next round of payments. Mr. Harris, he got 3 jobs.
And his wife is worried sick. Maybe we should drop out of Better Homes. We only just met these people, James. Do you trust them? What if they run off with our money?
I trust Laretha and Jake Chester with my life. And we can't back out. I mean, what, you want to stay here forever? Don't you want a beautiful house for our children?
Oh, Jimmy, don't even say that word.
Oh, I'm saying it, Ellie. House!
You're going to wake up the children and make me cry.
Come here. Gonna have a roofing on my house. Gonna have a sturdy roofing on my house. The roof keeps me dry at night, awning shades the house from light. Gonna have a sturdy roofing on my house.
Gonna have curtains at the window of my house. Gonna have curtains at the windows of my house. When the summer breezes blow, those white curtains sure will flow. Gonna have curtains at the windows of my house.
Yeah, they is. This second job will make our dreams come true.
Only if you let Junior help you. I'm worried about him, James.
So, Junior and Daddy went to work on Friday nights. They cleaned up Newman's Women's Department Store from 6 in the evening till 1 in the morning. Daddy gave Junior 25 cents from his pay and lessons from his life.
Suppose you want to buy that scarf for Mama.
I can't. Now be sure to dust the window sills.
Or that white jacket over there?
I can't. Don't forget to polish the window frames.
You work at Newman's, but they won't let you buy anything at Newman's. How's that fair, Daddy?
Who said anything about fair, Junior? Now stop pestering me with your questions, because my answers won't change. Now, there are good white folks and they're bad. You got to learn which is which.
But if the Newmans won't let you buy in their store, aren't they bad white folks?
No, because they gave me a job. They trust me with their keys, and they pay me exactly what they owe me every month. Mm-hmm.
That's what they're supposed to do. How does that make them good?
It's complicated. That's why colored folks got to stay strong and fight to change the rules. Now, cussing, fussing, and getting black eyes ain't gonna make anything better. In fact, it could get you killed. Why you think we left Tennessee?
I don't see things much better up here.
You will. Your mother and me, we're working on something. I can't tell you right now, but I'm asking you to have faith.
For how long?
Faith ain't got no time limit, boy. Work, go to school, and practice your stance. I'm telling you, the key is in the stance and where you put your weight. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I gotta haul this.
After I let you bring your girl in to help you, after I told you the kitchen had to be spotless, my mother-in-law stepped right in those crumbs. She'll hold this over me for the rest of my life.
I am so sorry, Mrs. Sutton. Maddie swept over there twice. Perhaps Master Arnold had some
Oh,
toast.
now it's my son's fault? How do I know it wasn't your girl stealing and eating my bread? Listen here. There are plenty of colored girls in South Bend looking for work. Do you want this job?
Yes, Mrs.
Then
Sutton.
act like it. I'm taking 50 cents out of your pay today, and that's to begin to make up for my humiliation. Now, you and your girl get this place swept, mopped, and polished. And be quick about it.
Mama.
Get to work now.
It's not fair. Her little brat.
Hush up, Maddie, and sweep. We'll get a nice bunch of college on the way home, and a peach for you. We save up enough, I buy you those crayons you wanted. You draw such pretty pictures. Don't be angry, Maddie.
She knows it was Arnold. She knows we cleaned this floor. It's not fair how she treats us.
It's the best we've got, Maddie. Besides, someone I know is gonna get a nice brand new box of crayons for her pretty pictures.
I don't even want them. I don't want to work here. If Daddy knew we were working here.
You cross your heart, Maddie.
I won't tell, but there are way too many secrets around here.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What secrets are you talking about?
The one taking you and Daddy out of the house every Sunday night.
That's grown folks' business.
As soon as you leave, Junior makes me go to bed, and then he sneaks into the hallway to talk with his
I'll
friends.
talk to him.
Please don't, Mama. He'll just get mad, and he's mad all the time anyways.
Why is that, Maddie? What's troubling your brother so?
He hates these South Bend white folks. He says, at least in Tennessee, you knew they hated coloreds. They didn't pretend like they do up here, like Mrs. Sutton.
Junior doesn't know how much safer he is. I know the change has not been easy for you children, but things will get better, you'll see.
When we get a house?
What did you say?
Francine Miller heard her mom and daddy fighting about buying a house. Says everyone's joining a corporation and buying land off North Elmer Street.
A corporation, and you are never to speak about this again. Do you understand me? Never.
Yes, ma'am. I'm through sweeping this corner.
I'm sorry, darling. I didn't mean to snap at you. Everyone's carrying the weight of this secret.
Is it true, Mama? Are we buying a house?
You have to promise not to say a word. Not to Junior, Francine, or anyone else, and do not tell your daddy I told you.
We're gonna have our own house?
Hold on now, Maddie. It may not happen. There are a whole lot of rules and regulations and white folks standing in the way.
Discrimination.
Child, when did you get so smart? You're right. There are white folks to stop us and white folks to help us. We just have to know the difference. And we need money. More money than your daddy and I have ever earned. But if he can work 2 jobs, then so can I. Because we have a chance to make a dream come true.
Gonna have a pretty bedroom with a window in my house. Gonna have a pretty bedroom with a window in my house. Gonna snore, kick the covers in, yawn, gonna look at my own window at dawn. Gonna have a pretty bedroom with a window in my house.
Gonna welcome all our neighbors at our door.
Gonna welcome all our neighbors at our door. Gonna sing our welcome nice and loud.
Gonna be so happy, gonna be so proud.
Gonna welcome all our neighbors at our door.
But it's gonna be a long, long road, daughter. We have to pray and have faith.
And make these floors shine so bright, they'll strike with Sutton blind.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. Soldiers of the cross.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder.
Soldiers of the
cross.
But what are they trying to do?
Some coloreds want to buy land to build houses.
You got some white folks that won't allow us to buy land to build houses.
How can we stop them?
How can they stop us?
Usually, there are covenants.
What are covenants?
Landowners and homeowners sign an agreement not to sell to certain people. In this case, colored people.
Landowners and homeowners sign an agreement not to sell to certain people. In this case, colored people like us.
That's awful.
Relief.
As backup, we banks and insurance companies use redlining.
As backup, white bankers and insurance companies use redlining.
What is redlining?
We label certain neighborhoods and certain populations as financial risks and deny them loans and credit. That way they can't buy.
It's where they label certain colored people in certain colored neighborhoods as financial risks. That way they can deny us credits and loans. And that way we can't buy.
So we're protected.
So we're rejected.
At least for now.
Up until now, Mr. Allen thinks if we form a corporation, we can get the property.
Thank God.
When Mama said we'd have to walk a long, rough road, she wasn't kidding. Look at what they had to do.
What's in the green are the Better Homes victories, and what's in the red are the setbacks. Starts out pretty green, right?
25th, convening, welcome, appoint secretary, keep minutes, introduce project, collect $1 from each attendee.
June 18th, 1950, prayer. List names of those who paid, announces options, placed on 26 lots.
June 25th, 1950. Prayer spent $210 to purchase charter and file court documents. Ordered plan from Standard Homes Company.
July 17th, 1950. The corporate warranty was received. A construction committee was created to oversee development.
Sometimes Jay Chester and Miss Aretha didn't want to put the really bad things into the minutes because they didn't want the Better Homes families to get too discouraged.
Fall 1950. City slow to move on water and sewage lines. Improvements had to be made before home building could start. September 1950. Push to add new members fails. October 1950. Max Meyer changes his prices.
They knew nobody would sell the lots of colored folks. They had to find a secret ally.
May I come in? Just a second. Let me close the curtains. Coast is clear. Were you seen?
I don't think so.
Sit. What can I get you?
Nothing, thanks.
Come on, Jay Chester, you're with me.
Bourbon, neat. I hope you're not bracing me for bad news, George.
I just thought we should talk. We go back a long way.
Yes, we do. And I know we can't do this without you.
When I first moved to South Bend from Ohio, I was impressed by how polite everyone was. There was a sense of decorum and civility, especially compared to places like Huntington and Jasper. But over the course of my many years here, I've seen beneath the surface, been in conversation with many intelligent, decent fellow, only to find that he's a raging segregationist. But why am I telling you this?
Perhaps because you're not going to buy the lots for us. I understand, George, you have a law practice. You have a beautiful family. When word gets out that you helped us.
My lord, man, I've already bought the lots for you. 18 lots on the 17 and 1800 block of North Elmer Street. The bill of sale, the receipt, it's all in there, my friend.
And my friend, I have your check.
Thank you, J. Chester. But sit. I need you to understand something. I'm not concerned about myself. My conscience is clear, and I'll tell that to anyone. But I want you to know how much I admire you. I deeply respect this Better Homes project. Even if we have to meet at night and I've got to close my curtains, I want you to consider me an ally. I will stand with you publicly anytime you call on me to do so.
And you sure that's not the bourbon talking?
It hasn't even begun to take effect. This is a beautiful endeavor, and I'm honored to be a small part of it.
Why, thank you, George. You cannot imagine what this means to me, to all of us.
It had better mean that Lily and I get to enjoy one of Elizabeth's fabulous meals in your brand new kitchen. I'll bring the bourbon.
It's a date, my friend. It's a date.
Every round goes higher and higher. Every round goes higher and higher. Every round goes higher and higher. Soldiers of the cross.
Thanks to Mr. Sands, they obtained the deeds to 18 lots. But white allies weren't easy to find. They found resistance and friendships in surprising places.
Where's your girl today?
She had too much homework.
That's good. You take such an interest.
Everything we talked about is there. All you got to do is sign.
I'm a lawyer, Mr. Flanagan. I read before I sign.
Be sure to get around the buttons.
Yes, Mrs. Sutton.
I ain't bamboozling you.
I'm sure you're honest.
I'm wearing it to tea. My mother-in-law is so picky.
Yes, Mrs. Sutton.
It's a good deal. Many wouldn't work with you people.
Your services are appreciated.
Word's going around that some colored families are trying to buy a property on the north side. I sure hope you're not mixed up in that, Ellie. You know, in South Bend, we get along because folks stay where they belong.
I see here you're specifying 1x4 wood. We requested 2x4.
You don't need it.
It's the standard on other homes you build.
Serves me right for trying to keep you people a break.
A lower price is great, but not if it's lower quality. We want exactly what everyone else gets.
I've had lots of girls clean for me. Some came late, some stole, some left the house dirtier than they found it. But you're a good girl, Ellie. You do good work and you take care of your family.
Thank you, Mrs. Sutton.
All right, I'll make the corrections and I'll bring it back to you.
Before Friday, please. The corporate board meets on Sunday.
I'd hate to see you caught up in anything that, you know, might be ugly. You know how people can be.
Yes, Mrs. Sutton, I do.
To me, it's just another job. It doesn't matter. But some folks don't understand what you're trying to do here.
It's not hard to understand, Mr. Flanagan. We want to raise our family in a safe and beautiful neighborhood. Isn't that what you want? Look at these.
I'll take that. Don't want to be late. You remember what I said now. I'm looking out for you. You hear?
Yes, Mrs. Sutton, I hear you.
Well, I say good luck.
Getting your good work is even better than good luck.
Loud and clear.
One of the green highlights you'll notice is a visit from Mr. D. Hart Hubbard of the FHA. Not only was he a handsome Olympic gold medal athlete, but a law school graduate and a representative of the Federal Housing Authority, or FHA.
Watching Mr. Hubbard stand up to white bank presidents gave much needed courage, confidence, and inspiration to Better Homes families who are working hard just to make ends meet. Putting large amounts of money towards purchasing a home required very tricky budgeting.
So that's $15 a month for rent, and that's gonna go up. I'm paying $60 a month for groceries and $4 a month for tithes.
Bellamy sells their chickens 5 cents cheaper by the pound. You and I can share one and split the vegetables. Make it stew. Throw in some potatoes to stretch it out.
Yeah, Junior's eating everything in sight.
So is Ben, and Jenny's cough medicine puts us back $2 a month.
All the children will be healthier when we move into our brand new homes.
Well, I sure hope so. I've had to stop buying my cigars.
Laretha says the sewers are holding things up. Jay Chester sent a 4th petition to the city.
And the contractors can't start till the sewers are done. But the corporation's still pressuring us for money. Laretha and Jay Chester say the same thing every meeting.
Yeah, I know. And we can't move forward until everyone's paid for their option.
Thomas and Sarah are pulling out of Better Homes.
What?
No.
Sarah told me herself.
Tom can't take on the extra work. It's mighty hard on everybody.
Mm-hmm. Laretha says we have to pay, each family has to pay $52.50 each month.
That doesn't even cover the fee for the sewer.
I'm gonna start cleaning for Claudine while she has her baby. And to bring in a little extra, but only for a little while.
Mm-hmm. And Eleanor's sneaking around acting like I don't know she cleaning houses too.
Did Maddie tell you?
She didn't have to. Nothing gets past me. Nothing.
We each got 2 jobs and think about a third. Mm-hmm. I thought field work was hard.
It was. And don't you forget it. Mm-hmm. Up here, we are working for ourselves, for a brand new, beautiful home.
Well, let's take another look at Jay Chester's figures and see if I can get as happy as Ellie.
The first part of 1951 was pretty bad. Despite Laretha's and Jay Chester's hard work, the Better Homes dream had worn thin because of so many delays in construction. I had a home run today, Daddy.
What?
Leroy said I couldn't, but I did, right across the fence.
All right, then. I told you, it's all in the stands.
No baseball in the house. Junior, homework. Maddie, clear the table. I have more ironing to get to. Junior, tell your friends homework first.
Oh, Mama.
That boy's gonna be a fine hitter.
I'd like to see him get up his math grade.
We didn't mean to disturb your
Please,
dinner.
don't get up.
Oh, no, we're finished. Have you eaten?
Yes. Don't worry about us.
Oh, well, have a seat.
We won't take too much of your time, but we thought you should
Maddie,
know.
leave the dishes. You two go on and back.
Is everything all right?
We thought you should hear from us.
We pulling out of Better Homes.
What? Why?
No.
It'll never happen, James.
They keep nagging us for money we don't have.
Well, surely Jay Chester can work something out for you.
We're struggling to put food on the table and keep the kids in shoes.
First is the permits, then it's the waters. We can't trust these white contractors.
It's been delay after delay, and we done try hard to be patient.
Before you know it, we'll be down $5,000 with nothing to show for it. We out. We just wanted to tell you before we told the board.
We feel kind of responsible for recommending Laretha to you.
We hope you'll walk away before you get in too deep.
Oh, no. We sticking this out.
What are you two gonna do?
Keep saving best we can. Maybe get a loan on our own.
Don't you think you stand a better chance with the corporation behind you?
Well, the only thing that scares white folk more than a single colored man is a group of colored men. Even if we somehow come up with the money to build and move in, you think those white folk on the north side going to like that?
Suppose they go to Studebaker and complain. Hiram and James could lose their jobs.
Look, I trust Jay Chester. And that DeHart Hubbard, he's the smartest they come. They won't let that happen.
We ain't the only ones pulling out.
The Morgans, the Petersons, the Grandins, the Mitchells, about 8 families in all.
Every time somebody pulls out, it gets harder on those that stand. There is power in numbers.
Come on, Libby. We hope you won't have no hard feelings.
Of course not. You're our friends.
Well, keep praying for you.
Thank you, Libby. You and Hiram have been good neighbors to us.
And it's not like we moving tomorrow.
See you at the plant, James.
All right.
Well, what are you thinking?
I think it's hard for us coloreds to believe in ourselves sometimes. I want to see this through. What about you, darling?
I can't say I haven't had my doubts sometimes. A lot of times. But my heart tells me we're going to make it.
I trust Jay Chester to tell me if and when it's over.
Go to bed now, honey. I'll pack your lunch for tomorrow.
Hey, folks back home said we'd never make the trip up north. And even if we did, we wouldn't make a living. We done both.
Yeah, well, those same people are going to open their mail one day and find a photograph of our brand new Better Home of South Bend.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up to freedom land.
Ain't gonna let nobody
turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up to freedom land.
Everyone was glad to see the end of 1951. 1952 had new momentum. Despite setbacks with contractors, Better Homes made 2 powerful allies.
Miss Norma will be right down. Have a seat. Oh, I'm so happy you're here, Miss Laretha. I just know you're going to like each other. The Levies are good folks. They put in my son through college, and they pay me well. Mr. Nathan is a respected lawyer. Now, can I get you some refreshments?
I believe you just did.
Sit.
Would you like a glass of lemonade, Miss Norma?
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Charles. I understand you two know each other.
We belong to the same church. And of course, we're a part of Better Homes.
Miss Norma, just to remind you, the taxi will be here at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Please bring down my suitcases when it's time. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm on my way to Chicago today, but I just had to see you before I left. Nathan tells me he saw your daughter at his alma mater.
Yes, she is in her 2nd year at the University of Michigan Law School.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, Nathan filled me in on what she said. Then I cross-examined Mr. Charles. They tell me you're the president of Better Homes and a wonderful leader.
Well, Jay Chester really is...
Tut. Jay Chester is a wonderful man, but you're the mother and nurturer of the dream. To work 2 jobs, care for your family, and lead Better Homes, it's just outstanding. And I wanted to tell you, face to face, Nathan and I will do everything we can to help. Nobody knows city government like my husband. All the departments, ordinances, regulations, and approvals. And nobody knows the South Bend social scene like I do. When it became clear the ladies of distinction were excluding me because I'm Jewish, I made it a point to make my presence felt. They don't have to include me in all their book jubilees, parades, social events. But they can't do all that without my connection to city government. So you see, Miss Aretha, they don't have to like us to treat us fairly.
Amen.
Can we give money to Better Homes? I understand some families are struggling.
That's very nice of you, Miss Norma. But we want folks to understand the realities of their financial commitments. Now, I would say we could use your help getting approvals for the sewer work. That's been tied up for months.
The sewers are a citywide problem, Miss Aretha. But in your case, the situation is critical. I'll talk to Nathan and he'll talk to the right people. I should know something by the time I get back. I'll have Mr. Charles give you a call and we'll talk over tea.
Miss Norma, on behalf of all the Better Homes families, we thank you and appreciate your support.
Miss Aretha, let's show them who we are and what we can do.
Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's armies got drowned. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned.
Dude! What are you doing?
Clapping erasers!
Stay where you are!
My teacher told me to. I didn't do anything!
Yeah, and butter wouldn't melt in your mouth!
What's going on here?
I was clapping erasers like you told me to.
What is the problem, Officer Dolan?
Good morning, Miss Robinson. Newspaper boy has knocked off his bike and robbed a few blocks from here.
What does it have to do with my student?
He's a suspect. I'm taking
You
him
do
in.
no such thing. I sent James out here to clap erasers.
Newspaper boy said a colored boy stole his money.
Did you find money on James?
He could have stashed it after
I didn't do it, Miss Robinson.
Of course you didn't. Officer Dolan, this is my morning helper, James Smith Jr., and he's been in my company for over an hour. You have the wrong boy. Release him and tell your mother I said hello. I'm sorry. Now, please finish.
A happy ending? Perhaps. But the incident haunted me and my whole family.
Aren't you glad Mrs. Robinson spoke up for you?
What if she hadn't come into the schoolyard right then? Just a half minute later, and Dolan would have taken me to the station.
Well, Mama would have come to get you.
How would she know? Who would I call? I've heard stories about colored folks down at the jail. Heard stories about innocent boys with cracked ribs and busted lips.
Well, it's over now, Junior.
They put it on your record. You're marked down for something you didn't even do.
But you're safe now, Junior.
And every time you go for a job, you have to explain how it happened and pray they believe you. Every time you turn around, there's a strike against you.
I'm sorry, Junior.
All right. Don't cry and don't tell Mama or Daddy. They got enough on their minds. I just have to look over my shoulder all the time.
Hold on, hold on. Keep your hand on the plow. Hold on. When my way gets dark as night, I know the Lord will be my light. Keep your hand on the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your hand on the plow. Hold on.
Mama and Daddy worried about Junior as he grew angrier and seemed more out of place. Mama mentioned it to Miss Laretha, and that's how it came to pass that Daddy and Junior would borrow suits from Mr. J. Chester Allen and stood in front of him when they went to the loan officer's desk on a Monday morning.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sutton. I appreciate you seeing us.
Not at all, Mr. Allen. This is what, our 5th meeting? I believe I was fairly firm with you last time. I am unable to help you and your people.
Well, I believe there might be room for further discussion, sir. That is why I brought along 2 of my associates, Mr. James Sr., if you please. James Smith Sr.
Thanks for meeting with us, Mr. Sutton, sir. James Smith is my name now. My wife Eleanor and I come up from Tennessee where we worked a farm. We came to South Bend to find a better job and better opportunities for our children. Now, I work at the Studebaker plant and I clean Newman's department store on the weekends. My wife, she takes in laundry and cleans for your wife, sir. Now, our son James Jr. here and our beautiful daughter Maddie, well, they mean everything to us. Now, we've saved up $500, and I've learned more about mortgages, loan, property covenants, contracts. But if that's what it takes for our children to have a clean, beautiful, and safe home to live in, see, we want them to be proud of who they are and what they can do for themselves and for others. Now, I'll give you my word. If you approve these loans, my family and all the Better Homes families will make you, your bank, and all of South Bend proud. But lately, my son seems troubled, Mr. Sutton, sir. He feels our dream is in danger. So I'd like him to say a few words. What, but? Junior, just tell Mr. Sutton why his loans are important to you.
Sir, my daddy didn't say why he dressed me in Mr. J. Chester Allen's suit and brought me here today. I don't know if I'm going to say the right thing.
Tell him what's on your heart, son.
I go to school. I help my teacher, Mrs. Robinson, every morning. I help my daddy clean Newman's department store every weekend. I see how hard he, my mama, Mr. J. Chester, and Mrs. Aretha are working to get these new homes to make life better for us kids. I get mad because I feel like we'll never make it. Like the world picks on us colored folks and wants us to fail. But I think my daddy brought me here today to meet you and to see him and J. Chester work for their dream, to see them give it everything they've got. In church they say, pray for everyone, even those who hate colored folks. They say that God's love is greater than anything that stands in our way. So maybe I shouldn't give up on this dream. Maybe my love for my family, my community, and the white folks trying to help us is God's love too. And God's love is greater than anything that stands in our way.
Out the mouths of babes, eh? Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Allen, I appreciate learning more about you and your people. You've come back 5 times. You've made a persuasive argument. I'll consider this. Good day, gentlemen.
Mr. Sutton never approved our loan, and Mom and I stopped cleaning for his wife. But 2 weeks later, we learned that the Better Homes loans would be handled by 4 other local banks. A giant leap forward. It was the most beautiful piece of paper I'd ever seen. The deed to our new house had stamps and seals and signatures on it. Daddy held it, Mama wept, Junior smiled. We laughed and joked all through dinner. Moving day took forever to come, but it came at last.
On that great getting up morning, fairly well, fairly well. On that great getting up morning, fairly well, fairly well. On that great getting up morning, fairly well, fairly well. On that great getting up morning, fairly well, fairly well.
Our neighbor helped us pile everything onto his truck, and he drove us to our new home.
Sure do appreciate the help. Well, let's get everything moved in.
Wait a minute, James. Let's take a minute. Do you remember that first night we arrived in South Bend?
I was scared and my feet hurt.
We walked forever.
I was thinking we should have stayed in Tennessee.
Big part of me agreed with you, but a small part knew this move would be good.
And now here we are. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this glorious day. Your love and power helped us find our way.
We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for our home, for this beautiful place.
Thank you for guiding us through all the dark times. Thank you for your strength when there are mountains to climb.
We thank you for your power to help us reach our goals. We thank you for our family, for these loving hands we hold. We thank you for the happiness this precious moment brings.
We thank you, Lord and Savior. We
thank you for everything.
We're home. Hallelujah.
We're home.
Here we are.
You did it, Daddy. You, Miss Laretha, Mr. J. Chester, everyone.
Yep. And our mortgage will be less than on Prairie Avenue.
Oh, come on, honey, open the door.
I'm coming.
Junior, don't you step on our beautiful grass.
I'd never seen Mama so young and carefree. I'd never seen the worry line slide right off of Daddy's face. I'd never heard Junior whistle. It was awful, but I didn't even mind. Now, I ask you to imagine this magnificent day repeated 22 times over several months as each Better Homes family moved in.
Being the kind and selfless person she is, Miss Laretha waited until everyone else was settled in before she moved in. And the members of Better Homes kept the pledge they had made 3 years ago. They had a big barbecue.
August 1954, in an empty lot on the 1700 block of North Elmer Street.
Cakes and pies.
Potato salad.
Macaroni salad.
Spaghetti.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue ribs.
Homemade ice cream.
And bourbon.
Bourbon.
Games, laughter, hugs, and pose photos. The sun smiled down on everyone. Some of their white neighbors stayed apart from them, but there was no trouble. Most of all, the children in Better Homes thrived in a community filled with love.
How can you measure what love does? How can you see its effects?
How can you measure what love does? How it nurtures, uplifts, and protects.
How can you measure what love does? How the nurtured ones grow up and thrive.
How can you measure what love does? How it helps hopes and dreams stay alive.
How can you measure what love does?
How it brightens your attitude.
Deepens your gratitude.
Builds your self-esteem.
Pushes you towards your dreams.
It lays the strongest foundation for present and future generations. That's what love does. That's what love does.
It's been 70 years, but these are actual quotes from adults reminiscing about their Better Homes childhoods.
We were just so happy.
It was a wonderful neighborhood.
We had hedges between our homes and flowers in our yards.
And on Saturdays, you could hear the lawnmowers.
We were proud of where we lived.
We were in and out of each other's houses all the time.
We threw block parties and parades.
I wouldn't have traded my childhood for anything.
It was a loving and caring upbringing.
I wouldn't have traded my childhood for anything.
We were blessed to grow up as we did.
The love and protection of the Better Homes Corporation and its emphasis on unity, getting an excellent education, and lifting up others as you lift yourself produced generations of kids who went on to have successful careers.
We celebrate the courage and the faith of the people who made the Better Homes dream come true.
Thanks to Gabrielle Robinson, we have this play.
Thanks to her and others, we now have a Better Homes historical marker.
Thanks to the South Bend Civic Theater, we have this play, and my co-narrator can play this person. This is Madison Jackson, the granddaughter of Bland Jackson, the first treasurer of the Better Homes Corporation, and this is her message to you.
My father, Michael, grew up on North Elmer Street. I remember hearing stories of how it felt to be proud of where you lived and the people around you. I want the same for me and my future children. Don't you? If the Better Homes story has taught us anything, it's that things don't have to stay the way they are. We know the Better Homes formula.
Keep the secret.
Keep the secret. Work hard. Be patient. Work together.
And get your finances in order.
Of course, housing segregation, redlining, and discriminatory lending practices,
still exist today.
But we have a blueprint.
We have people who are ready to write the next chapter of the Better Home story.
Who says we can't make the dream come true again?
Hold on!
Keep your hands on the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. When I get to heaven, gonna sing and shout. See nobody there to pick me out. Keep your hands on the plow. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on.
Tomorrow, so long and bye for now. We'll see you then. Don't be late for tomorrow, 'cause tomorrow will wait.
Ain't gonna. I'll give it a good stomp and give him something to record. Yeah, friends? And I'm only gonna count to 7 at once now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a-walking, keep on a-talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a-walking, keep on a-talking, marching up to freedom land.
All right.
Woohoo! Freedom, friends.
This WNIT local production has been made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.